Econ students, my name is Mr. Jeter. Today we're going to embark on personal finance. We're going to look at some of the different ethics of personal finance and planning for the future. Okay, no matter whether you're young, whether you're old, personal finance management is very important. It's crucial for living a very fulfilled life. Okay. Now, no matter what we're going through here, a disclaimer, it's always best to talk to a financial advisor who will look at your specific situation and prepare a management or financial plan for your future. So this is general information, something that will help you escape some of those pitfalls of making bad decisions when you're young. Without further ado, let me go ahead and share my screen with you, and we're going to our PowerPoint presentation. All right, personal financial literacy. Again, my name is Mr. Jeter. Our personal financial literacy, we're looking at our TEKs are E16, I will understand the role of financial markets and how they affect households. E17, A, B, and C, assess how to be a wise investor, maintain a banking account, develop strategy, become a low-risk borrower. And E18, A, B, and C, examine ways to avoid and eliminate debt, evaluate costs and benefits of insurance. I'm going to hit on a whole bunch of different things in this PowerPoint presentation. First, why should you care about financial literacy? Well, a couple of graduates ages 21 or 30 were asked to self-report on how they're doing financially. Here's some of the information that they came back with. 10.9% said they're very comfortable and secure about their finances. Okay, now I'm not a math person, but 10.9 is very low compared to 100%. So over almost 90% of them were having a problem with their finances. 34.1% said making ends meet without much difficulty. Okay, this group probably got paid by the end of the month. All the bills are paid, but they had no more pocket cash. That's 34.1%. Make ends meet without much difficulty. The green numbers are the big deal here. These are our big deal. Occasionally have difficulty, 28.8. Those are ones that have spent all their money and they still got bills left. 21.5%, tough to make ends meet. Those are the ones that are short on money to buy food or utility bills or make a car payment. 4.7% in over their head. These are the groups that are losing their house, losing their car, getting divorced, stuff of that nature. And this is self-reporting. Not too many people are willing to report bad news. But I'm thankful that those 21 to 30-year-olds were able to self-report to us. But finances are definitely a big deal. Okay. Why should you care continued? 19.1% of this group overdrew on their debit account. 19.9% fell behind on credit card payments. 18.1% said they were pressured by bill collectors or creditors. 31.6% said they would borrow from friends or relatives. Don't you hate that when people borrow money from you and don't pay you back? How many of y'all have that situation happen to you? Or maybe you were that person that borrowed money and didn't pay back. 9.6% pawned or sold valuables, went to a pawn shop, gave up their valuable possession in lieu of some type of cash, and later down the road brought out that prized possession with the amount of money you borrowed plus interest. 10.6% received letters of indebtedness. 98.75% were processed a letter of indebtedness or processed a bad check, and that costs money to do. Security clearance revocation decreased new job applicants for police, security, medical, and defense jobs. 6 out of 10 are due to financial problems. So if you plan on getting into these professions and you got a bad credit history, it's going to be hard to get into those professions. Each month, over $1 million in bad checks are presented at shopping facilities. That was some crazy statistics. A poor credit history can have wider ranging consequences than you might think. Not only will a spotty credit report lead to higher interest rates and fewer loan options, it can also make it harder to find housing and acquire certain services. In some cases, it can count against you in a job hunt. You definitely don't want to start off with a bad credit report. A credit report or credit history will follow you all your life. So you want to make sure your report is good. We're going to jump into reading an earnings statement right now. What's an earnings statement? An earnings statement is a document that an employee receives giving details of money they have been paid. A personal earnings statement will provide information about how many hours someone worked. So whether you're working at a fast food joint or a Fortune 500 job, you're going to get a earnings statement. And this is just a brief summary of how to look at an earnings statement and what to look for. Here's an example of a leaving earnings statement. Okay, at the top is your basic information, your name, social security number, your entitlements, your basic amount that you're getting paid, plus any extras for in that certain area that you're in. And at the bottom, the total, that's how much you're getting paid for that particular month. These are called entitlements, everything you're entitled for that particular month. Next, you got in deductions. Okay, before you get that money in your hand, there's a deduction that comes out. Uncle Sam takes his piece out for taxes, federal taxes, FICA, Social Security, Medicare. If you got any allotments, stuff like that, that will be coming out. If you're getting paid twice a month, your mid-month deductions. Okay. If you got any kind of allotments, money taken out for whatever reason, maybe given to charity, maybe given to the presidential election, whatever, that'll show on that allotment as well. Okay, this is an allotment form. Your summaries here, and how much you're getting paid at the end of the month is right there, end of month payment. This is a leave information. It tells you how much leave you're going to be able to take, like for sick leave, stuff of that nature, how much it occurs if you have a job that occurs some type of leave. And there you go. Personal financial literacy, developing a spending plan. Now we're going to take a look at a spending plan. You may be asking, why have a spending plan? Good question. Well, having a spending plan helps you live within your income, reduces financial stress, maintains a good credit history, realizes your personal goals. If you got personal goals for yourself, it will realize those goals. Maximize dollar cost averaging on investments. Okay, the younger you are, the more you can put away for those rainy days. And as that time goes on, you're going to be able to make money for yourself. We're going to explain that. Okay, why have a spending plan? Okay, there's a battle for your spending dollars. Compulsive shopping will make average consumers without a plan spend more money than necessary to relieve their stress. Okay, before you may go out with a plan to buy one thing, but as you're in the store and you see all the different options, you end up buying half the store. Okay, why is that? That's called compulsive shopping. Okay, within your psyche, there's three beings fighting for control of your purse. It's your id, which is your basic instinct, your ego, which is the decision maker in your conscious, and your superego, your idealized man, where you see yourself. So your idealized man is the one that wants to tell you to save your money for that rainy day, while the basic instinct wants you to just buy, buy, buy. Your ego, the decision maker, listens to see which one is the stronger. Is it that mature superego or is that immature id, and it makes a decision? What is discretionary income? The amount of an individual's income that is left for spending, investing, or saving after paying taxes and paying for personal necessities, such as food, shelter, and clothing. Income includes money spent on luxury items, vacation, and non-essential goods and services. Discretionary income is what's after you done paid the bills. Okay. What's the difference between discretionary funds and non-discretionary funds? Discretionary funds are for wants, while non-discretionary funds is for needs like food, shelter, stuff of that nature. Okay, non-discretionary funds, you got no choice. You got to buy those things. Got to pay the note for your car. You got to pay the food for the house, stuff of that nature. While wants is you got a TV, but you want a bigger TV, or you, instead of eating any kind of food, you want the most expensive food. That's discretionary. You don't have to buy those things. Where does that discretionary money go? Here's just a snapshot of what happens if you just buy certain things and how that money can accumulate. If you buy that daily cup of coffee, that cheap daily cup of coffee, that's about $365 a year. And it's probably more if you're going to go to one of the expensive lattes. One bag of potato chips daily at a occur to almost what, $1,800 by the end of the year, depending on what kind of chips. Again, there's some more expensive type chips as well. Lunch at a fast food restaurant, it equates up to almost $2,000 a year. Soda, about 3 cans of soda a day, that equates up to about $712 a year. Okay, that's all the discretionary money you can imagine saving that money up and using it for something else. The average household has about $1,729 left over after paying the bills each month. That money can be spent or put toward a number of different long-term saving goals like retirement or college education. Instead of blowing that money on like a coffee or a chips, listening to that id or the basic instinct, you can listen to the super ego and save that money. Okay, but you got to make that choice. Maximize your dollar cost averaging. Time plus money equals secure financial future. You do not need a lot of money if you have a lot of time. Here's an example. Okay, this is the investor.gov website. You can easily go to that. And this is one of many calculators on the web that can show you how your money will look if you invest it. That's the difference between a savings account as opposed to a stock option or a mutual fund. Okay, same amount of money, but the interest rates are different. So depending on what kind of savings vehicle you're in, you can go from being regular, having a couple of $300,000 to actually being a millionaire. Okay, again, that's something to look at. There we go. Okay, what do these people have in common? Okay, they're very famous for one, yes. Another thing is they've all filed for bankruptcy, all of them. Okay, one minute they had lots of money, and next minute their bills overshadowed them, and they had more bills than they had money. Okay, so even if you're popular, you can have that issue where you spend more than what you got. Elements of personal financial success. One, identify where you are right now. No matter where you are, there's a starting point. You got to figure out where you are. Look at your net worth statement, do your debt to income ratio, figure out where you are, and then identify where you want to go, where I want to be in 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. Set short-term, mid-term, and long-term goals. Then develop a spending plan to meet those goals. Okay. A journey of 100 miles must begin with that first step. That first step is your net worth statement, your debt to income ratio, and start heading towards your goal. And you may change this thing throughout your lifetime, and that's okay, just as long as you're putting some money aside. Here's how you determine your net worth. You take all your assets, all your pluses, the money you got in your savings account, money you got in your checking account, any paid off cars or whatever, subtract that by your liabilities, any credit card debt, the mortgage that you have left on the house, stuff of that nature. You take your assets minus your liabilities, that is your net worth. Here's an example. Let's say I check my cash, checking, and savings, and I got like $9,200. Money market accounts and CDs, because I got some investments, another $1,300. Okay. I look at the price of my car and my home, the equity in the home. Let's look at how much you paid into the home as opposed to how much you have left. It's add that to the car, that's another $230,000. Add all that, my assets is $240,000. Now look at mortgage. This is what's left on the house. So understand the difference. Equity is what you paid into the house, and mortgage is what's left on the house. This is what's left for the car, utility, and credit cards. Add that up. So my assets minus my liabilities. My net worth right now would be $50,000. See, I understand where I am now, where I want to go. This is a debt to income ratio. People look at your debt to income ratio, and depending on what that total debt is divided by your net income times 100, the bank looks at your debt to income ratio, determine whether they're going to give you a loan or not. And it shows you where you are financially. Okay. Take that total debt that you got, divided by your net income times 100, and give you a number. that number wherever it's at. If it's 15% or below, you're doing good. It's okay to add credit. It's okay to borrow money. Bank will consider you a good investment. 15 to 20% means you're fully extended. That means you don't need to be borrowing any more money. And if you do, it'll probably be at a higher interest rate because you're more of a risk. 21 to 30% means you're overextended. You definitely do not need to be borrowing any additional money. Again, if you do borrow money, the banks will see you as a greater risk, so your interest rate will be higher for borrowing money. If you're over 30% of your debt to income ratio, you need to seek help immediately because it's way too much money you got toward debt. Okay, this is your debt to income ratio. Your total debt divided by your net income times 100. That's your debt to income ratio. A good way to look at where you're standing financially. The good number is 15% or below. Bad number is 30% or higher. Let's do an example of that. My gross pay, all pay and allowances before deductions, is $1,262. My deductions are $252. Leaves me a net income of $1,009.92. Okay. My debt, I got $135 in credit card payments. That cell phone, about $40. That leaves me about $175.53. Okay, not much debt, right? So you take my debt divided by my net pay times 100. That gives me a number, 17.38%. Do y'all remember where I am on that? That means I'm fully extended in this example. That means if I do try to get additional credit, my interest rate will be higher than it was if I was okay to add credit without any issues. Okay. So that is your debt to income ratio. How to determine your debt to income ratio. All right, so once we know where we are, we've got to figure out where we want to go. This is where you write down some short, long-term goals for yourself. Where you see yourself in 1 to 3 years, 15 to 20 years, and your retirement goals. Write those down. It's been said, without a vision, the people perish. Without a vision for yourself, you tend to go astray. When you write down that plan for your financial success, you have goals set for yourself, goal poles, so as you're walking, you'll stay straight, okay? Here's some examples. 1 to 3 year goal could be paying for that holiday trip, paying for that car, or becoming debt-free. 15 to 20 year, paying off a home, getting college taken care of, or starting your own business. Retirement goals could be to travel, be an entrepreneur, or just have a good life, okay? These are pretty good goals. Now let's plan to get those goals. This is our investment pyramid, financial pyramid, okay? These are places where you want to invest your money. Okay? I was talking to you about different savings vehicles. Generally, savings, put your money in a savings account, interest goes from 0.5% to 2%. You're not going to get a lot out of a savings account, but the good thing about it is safe. All investment, there is risk. Everybody say risk. Correct, risk. When it comes to stocks and bonds, there is a level of risk, but historically, because you can only look at the past, not the future, interest rates for bonds have been 4 to 7%. For stocks, 7 to 12%. Okay. So at your management level, looking for adequate income, control your spending, and have insurance. Savings level, we got reserve money set aside for emergencies, and goal getters. Okay, reserve, emergency, and goal getter, and investments. I think I went too fast there. Boom. Then our investment levels, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, hard assets like diamonds, stuff of that nature, options, commodities, and real estate, buying a house, selling a house. These are different investment levels. So those 1 and 3 year goals, the best options are savings and CDs. They're safe. It's hard to lose your money. You can access that money at any time. Okay. 15 and 20 year goals, bonds, mutual funds, and stocks will maximize your dollar cost averaging so you can try to reach those goals the best. Okay. And the difference between those 1 and 3 year goals and the 15 to 20 year goals is time. Okay. You can't really take that money out without incurring some type of penalty. That's why you want to make sure you got enough that money will not affect you short term, so you can keep putting that money in for the long-term investments. These are great for long-term investments, bonds, mutual funds, and stocks. But if you want them sooner, okay, you want to stick to the 1 to 3 year type vehicles, savings and CDs. Then there's retirement, 401k, IRAs, Roth IRAs. That's good for retirement. Okay, retirement accounts. A 401k is an employer-sponsored retirement account. It allows an employer to dedicate a percentage of pre-tax salary to a retirement account. So they take that money out before your tax. So now you got a smaller amount that's being taxed, and that money is going towards your retirement. An IRA is an account set up at a financial institution that allows an individual to save for retirement with tax-free growth or a tax-deferred basis. So you can pay for the tax now, so you ain't got to worry about it later, or save that money up, and when you take it out in the future, that's when you pay tax on it. A Roth IRA is a special retirement account where you pay taxes on money going into your account, and then all future withdrawals are tax-free. Now, this is great if you expect to have more money in your retirement years than your present years. Okay, that way you already paid money, pay taxes on that money, so when you draw it out in your retirement years, you ain't got to worry about paying again. All these funds are invested in a range of vehicles like stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and cash to try to maximize your time. Okay. Again, all investments there are risk. That's why you want to have short-term, mid-term, long-term. Utilize all those different vehicles. Goal setting strategy, set beginning and end dates, prepare a plan of action, list your benefits so you can be motivated to keep going. Identify your obstacles. Stuff happens. You may get married, you may have children, you may go to college, may drop out of college. Things happen on the road of life. Just don't get rid of your plan. You may change your plan. May add more money if you get a raise, or take money out if you become unemployed, but just keep your plan going. Reevaluate as necessary. Again, those short-term, long-term retirement goals, keep those in front of you, and it motivates you to keep going. Here's a spending plan pie chart. Okay, everybody spends differently, but on average, this is the way you want to set up your monies. 35% of your money should go toward housing. That way you know you're staying in a place that's good for your budget. Living expenses, about 25%. Transportation, whether a car, taking a bus, Uber, 15% of your money should go toward that. Debt, we talked about 15%. And savings, 10% off the top should go toward your savings vehicles. Here's an example. A person getting paid $1,502 a month, $430 of that should be going to their housing. $375 of that should go toward living expenses, $225 toward their transportation, whether it's taking a bus, an Uber, or cab. $150 can go toward their savings. And again, this is general advice. You should consult your own financial advisor before making major financial decisions. This is just a basic plan pie chart for savings. Now, of that money that you're going to be saving, that $150, you want to break it down to long-term. 3.5% of that should go to long-term. 2.5% of that money should go for retirement. 2.5% for short-term. 0.75% for those emergencies that come up. And 0.75% of that for mad money. Money you can just spend on whatever you want. Okay. It's always good to be able to spend money to make you happy, right? That way you keep your plan going. Of that $150, here's how it breaks down. Again, this is general advice. You consult your own financial advisor for making major financial decisions, okay? But this person's well on his way to his financial goals. Characteristic of a spending plan is this. It's just a general guide. Again, things change. You may get married, you may have children, stuff changes. You want to articulate your savings plan to reflect that. It's unique to you. Your savings plan will not be like my savings plan. I may be able to save more money or less money. Keep it practical and realistic. If you put too much money in savings and don't enjoy your life, you won't keep doing your plan. Allow for flexibility, allow for leisure and necessities. It never is too late to begin. Start now. Okay, we're going to take a look at consumer awareness. There's a lot of pitfalls out there that people want to take your money, whether it's on the internet or mail-in stuff. There's always someone trying to take advantage of you. So here's something to look look out for consumer awareness. First, landlord-tenant transactions. Before you sign a lease, check your Better Business Bureau or local housing office to make sure that it's a reputable place that you're renting from. Make sure the lease specifies period is covered on that contract. Before you sign, take photos of the inspection. It's easier to go into an apartment or a house than to come out of one. Take photos at the inspection. Have renter's insurance. It's pennies on the dollar, but it will definitely protect you for when someone either steals from you or there's a damage to your place or whatever. Again, and inspect before moving in. Taking photos of that inspection will definitely save you dividends down the road when the landlord is trying to say that you damaged the place, and all you got is your word. When you got photos to show it, timestamp, that will help you in a court of law if it ever goes to that point. Advertiser out there to try to separate you from your money. Understand what they use, okay? Sometimes they use facts and try to distort it. They try to use emotional buying. They personalize ads, try to draw your attention, use association. Hey, I know Mr. Bob from your school or someone from your college. Use buzzwords. Hey, you want to be part of the in crowd, whatever. Fear and berating, okay? Understand they are trying to separate you from your money. Don't get caught off guard by any kind of compassionate, commercialized effort to take away your money. Use your head, do your research before you commit. Bait and switch. That's generally when they come on the TV and they promise you a great thing at a low price, but when you go there, it's not there no more. But oh, since you're here, we do have this item, just a little bit more expensive. That's bait and switch. Okay. Offers look good, but can be deceptive. You require additional fees. Be wary of firewall phishing and spear phishing scams. You click on the link and they go through your computer, know all about your information. Before you click, do your investigation. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. Consumer awareness, credit contracts, get everything in writing. Read the final print. You can take it to legal services to take a look at it before you sign. That's even better. There's a lot of cheap legal agencies around. If it's long-term, generally if you're buying a house, whatever, you got to see a lawyer to look at those contracts anyway. So do that. Look for some legal services before you sign the dotted line. Never sign under pressure. The pressure you to sign, there must be a reason. Consumer awareness. Home repair ripoffs, they're out there aplenty. Okay, understand plumbers usually charge $50 just to show up at your doorstep. Understand what those hidden fees are before they come to your house. Painters, sometimes shoddy prep, #1 complaint, as poor preparation can lead to water damage and rot. Electricians, ensure specification grade or better product. Check your Better Business Bureau before you have anyone come to your house. Okay. Roofers plan on paying $30 to $50 an hour to have flashing fixed correctly. Make sure you check your work. All right, a lot of investment scams out there. Again, investments, there is some kind of risk. Okay, this is known as Ponzi or pyramid schemes. Offers high rates of return with no risk. Remember, there's always risk when it comes to investment. If someone tells you there's no risk, they're lying to you. There's always risk. Okay, legitimate investment, there is risk. Okay. For Ponzi scheme, they claim they have high-level financial connections or are privy to inside information. Insider trading is illegal. Eventually, they collapse and you lose your investment. Investing companies require high service charges, process fees. Stick with well-established companies. Okay. If someone's guaranteeing you 230% on your investment, no matter what, take a look at that. It may be a Ponzi scheme. This person is Bernard Madoff. Okay, his last name kind of alludes to what he did. He made off with over $20 billion of people's money. Okay, securities fraud, investment advisor fraud, mail fraud, wire fraud, money laundering. He got 150 years imprisonment and forfeiture of $170.179 billion for his crimes. Okay, but a lot of people fell for his Ponzi scheme. A lot of smart people, a lot of celebrities fell for it. So, hey, their traps are out there. Okay, keep your eyes open. Again, consult the Better Business Bureau before you start investing. Okay, there's title loan places out there. Title loans, don't do them. They offer quick cash with huge interest rates. If borrower defaults, the lender can repossess that vehicle. Okay, 1 out of every 5 customers lose their car. Stay away from these title loan places. The usual rate of interest for their loans is 300%. If you're having problems before you go to a title loan place, this will definitely not help your situation. Here's a title loan example. You borrow $1,000 quick cash, supposedly, monthly payment of $300. You repay $3,640. That's 364%. They've taken advantage of you. Okay, so you want to avoid those title loan places. You want a reputable loan, go to the bank. Payday loan places are similar to this. They offer small loans, repayment due on the next payday. You write a post-dated check, they cash it for you, but the problem again, extremely high interest. 12 million Americans take them yearly. Average loan is about $375, with borrowers paying on an average of $520 in fees. That's crazy. It's robbery. Only 14% can actually afford to pay the loan off. Average interest rate, about 396%, can be as much as 700% or more. 17 states have banned them outright. Okay, so if your state is not one of them, watch out for them. Payday and car loan places, stay away from them. It seems like quick cash. Remember that id in the super ego? The id wants that cash quickly, so it's willing to sign for that quick loan. But the super ego needs to step in and realize, hey, waiting is more important. Any questions about anything we've talked about thus far? In summary, we're talking about the advantages of a spending plan. We talked about a debt to income ratio. We talked about discretionary versus non-discretionary spending, how to prepare a spending plan, being an informed consumer. In the next couple of weeks, we're going to be going over each one of these things a little slower and give you more time to wrap your head around it. This is just a fireside chat about the whole thing there. All right, I hope this PowerPoint presentation just gave you a good view of spending and the ethics of spending and being a consumer. Again, for the next couple of weeks, we're going to be spending a lot more time on each one of these things, going slower, give you a chance to put some hands-on application on there. Okay, and again, this is Mr. Jeter. I'm going to have some questions for you at the end of this PowerPoint presentation. Good luck.